Alright, Sam, as we're watching your video here above water, first thing we kind of see here is if you look, you can see that wrist is bent a little bit and your palm is facing more down, which is the top of your hand is facing up. We want to make sure that we're exiting that water and entering that water, thumbs out, pinkies in. Halfway through this stroke right here, you can still see that wrist is really bent. Right here at the top, you start to turn to that pinky. So that was good there, but we don't want to be coming up quite so much with that palm down or your top of your hand up. Right as you get ready to enter, you can see you start right here. You've got that pinky entry going really, really well. But then at the very last second, you can see that you go fingertip entry on that right side. So we got to make sure it's always thumb out, pinky in. Kind of the same thing here. We've got that wrist bend. Instead of coming up with that thumb, always think about straight arm recovery, right? That's one of the reasons why Lynette does that drill a lot. It's that straight arm recovery, and it's important to go thumb up and then turn that pinky in. You still see you're about halfway through that stroke. That wrist is still bent. Right there, you've got that pinky ready to go. That was a much better entry on the left side. So your left side is doing a great job of pinky entry. It's that right side, we're going more with that fingertips, right? We don't want to go fingertip entry. Fingertip entry is great on freestyle, not on backstroke. Again, just kind of check out your wrist here and see how bent that is. So what it means when you're kind of coming up, you're finishing, you're not really pulling any water there at the end, you're just kind of lifting those arms. You really want to think about the paddle, right? And really it's from the tip of your fingers almost down to your elbow. That's where your paddle is. And you're really throwing that water to the opposite of the pool. And as you finish it, it should be coming thumb up. If it's not coming thumb up, you're not really pulling good water there at the very end. Now that was a better pinky entry. Good. Now the other thing we can kind of see there is you've got a steady kick, but as we look at underwater, you don't really see your feet breaking that surface. You always want to see some white water coming off those legs. White water is important because really the speed of your backstroke, while it does come from your pull a little bit, the motor and the engine, those are your legs. So we've got to get those legs moving and a little bit higher. The other thing is if you can actually just lift your head back a little bit, you see that your chin is tucked a little bit more to that chest. You want your head to be in a neutral position. So like if you lay on the ground right now, your head's going to be looking straight up, and that's what we want to see. So when we look at your eyes here, they're looking a little bit on an angle. We want them straight up. A little bit more neutral position, okay? Yeah, that's a good pinky entry. All right, as we go into the turn here, first off, that's a much better job of knowing your stroke count. And I think where you're turning is exactly where you need to be. I like how you turn that head over early. Good freestyle pull in the wall. Great job. You got your feet separated a little bit, which is excellent. We always want to make sure those feet are a little bit separated to get when they're going over together. We don't want them side to side, so you've got a nice little separation there. That's excellent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dolphin kicks. At that 6th dolphin kick, you can see that you started that stroke separating a little bit. What we'd like to see you do is this. 6 dolphin kick streamline, then flutter kick. As soon as you start the flutter kick, that's when you start that arm pulling, okay? So great job. Here's where the flags are, which is outstanding. So you're about a half a body length past those flags in that first stroke. So that's great. But great job of pushing up the wall and streamlining. Great job of dolphin kicking. And the breakout, if it's a little bit earlier, you're going to be perfect, okay? As we start that first stroke, you can see that your head is looking more this way, right? Get the head up. It's all about head position. You've got to have that head position really good. Yeah, so your head's way up, and that's partially why you're on this angle here is because of how high you're lifting your head. By tucking your chin to your chest, you're letting your hips drop a little bit more than we want to see. All right, so really, if you get that head up, the body position is going to be perfect in that backstroke, Sam. Way to go.